Hello everybody and welcome to today's episode of Toy Pizza. I got a very special box in the mail and I was going to open it and then I saw how very special it was and I decided, hey, why don't I monetize every second of my existence and open this box for Toy Pizza on YouTube? And that way I can receive a couple cents for the video, maybe 50, maybe 60 cents, and hopefully one day, my ultimate goal is to be able to afford a catastrophic medical event, right? Because they're around the corner for all of us. So that's the plan. Today, we're going to unbox this very, very incredible shipment that's just arrived from our good friend, Mark Postman. The second I lifted these flaps, I knew that this was something that had to be documented, right? And here's the sort of signature piece. This is what I purchased from Mark. He's clearing out some of his old collection. I love the Hall of Justice. I've never actually had a complete one. I had a sort of rinky-dink, broken down version that I got at a tag sale when I was a kid, missing almost all the parts. So I couldn't pass up a chance to own this. This is Kenner Superpowers from the 80s. Fantastic line, fantastic playset. Very excited about that. But it's sort of the stuff on the periphery that really caught my attention. So this right here is a Megaman Keshi set from Japan. It's kind of in this really beautiful metallic blue, which makes sense for Mega Man. But this signifies Mark's previous employment for Capcom. Mark Postman was responsible for a lot of really fantastic stuff that Capcom did in, I guess I want to say the late 90s, including their deal with Toy Biz for some really fantastic lines, like the Resident Evil Toy Biz line that we've talked about before. And he put together a ton of deals. I believe he was also an uncredited producer on the Street Fighter animated series and a bunch of other endeavors. Mark knows I am a lifelong Mega Man fan, and in fact would go on to sort of work for Jazzwares on their Mega Man line, of which the Retro Roto figures are, you know, a high watermark in my career as far as I'm concerned. These are very hard to come by. This is a very expensive set. No doubt this was part of his Capcom archive. What a phenomenal piece. This is just pretty incredible. So big thank you to Mark. Mega Man always near and dear to my heart, and this is a great set. Next up after that, always can use another good Johnny Lightning Speed Racer. Obviously I'm a huge Speed Racer fan as well. Anybody who's read Turbo Atoll knows that story is really built on the foundation of a love for our Mach 5 and all of the family of the Speed family. Of the Racer family? I forget. Next up we have this Power Buster Rockman. Now I have encountered these before. I think we had a few at Jazzwares. This is the base figure. And these are kind of semi-posable figures. They don't move from the waist down, and they have kind of ball joints at the elbows. You can swap their fists, just like in the game, if you want to sort of absorb other powers. The elbow joints kind of sit at an awkward angle and break up the sculpt a bit, but these are really, really nicely done. I do have the Mega Man somewhere. I do not have the base, so this is a really fantastic addition to the collection. Thank you, Mark. Got some kind of gashapon here, maybe collected during one of Mark's trips to Japan. And it looks like, is this a Dragon Warrior? I think it might be. Yeah, look at that. This is very cool. I obviously I'm a huge fan of Dragon Warrior and the artwork for it. You got it right here. It is called Dragon Quest in Japan, of course. Dragon Warrior here in the States. This looks to be Dragon Quest VI. So, fantastic score. I always love good Keshi. And I like the Keshis that sort of come in pieces and you put together, not unlike a model kit. Next piece here, beautiful, super deformed Tekken 2 mini character collection. Likely also picked up by Mark while he was in Japan. Not a huge Tekken player, but I've always been a fan of the character designs. Especially, is this a King? Is that the character's name? He's pretty great. Yes. Oh, look at that. I was correct. Also, Yoshimitsu. Very, very cool design. Like that character as well. So, this is a score, as far as I'm concerned. The hits keep coming, and Mark seems to be completely psychic because here are two of the very best sort of Happy Meal toys ever created. I've talked at great length about this Warner Brothers costume set that I just love to death. And the Inspector Gadget is really fantastic. But what Mark doesn't know is I actually have every other figure except this one of this set. So that is like sublime, perfect, intuitive gift giving on Mark's part. Next up, we got a random bag of Playmobil parts. I, of course, love Playmobil. There does seem to be a caveman, which could lend itself to a little Pro Mega action, and I think that's good. I actually lived near a Playmobil land in West Palm Beach, Florida, and I would take my nieces there all the time, and it was a lot of fun. And Playmobil doesn't really get enough traction in the States the same way something like Lego does, if you ask me. Arguably, one of my favorite figures of all time, another one that I've talked at great length about, the Ninja Wolverine. Now, this is in very pristine condition, so I may swap out the previous one that I've sort of shown you guys. I believe Nicky and I did a live stream of our favorite Toy Biz toys, and this was covered in that. This is a Phil Ramirez sculpt during Jesse Falcon's tenure on the Toy Biz action figure line, and it is just phenomenal. And in fact, just this past weekend, in another case of very odd timing, I picked up this at a tag sale, or a flea market rather, which is a sort of modified version of this sculpt. I like this version a little less than this version, but I picked this up just because it's a very interesting piece of sort of nostalgia for this specific sculpt. You can see there have been changes made. This hand is open, and there's the wing boots that we're accustomed to, shoulder pads, but it is largely the same sculpt. And I think that's always fascinating when you find variations like that. So now the only thing left to do is to set up the Hall of Justice and show you guys it in all its glory.